It is the Martha Zoller Show, and it's always great to be here because there's a lot of movement going on. Yesterday, Mike Collins got in the race for Senate, which opened up his seat, and got now Houston Gaines is going to be running for that seat. We've got Mayor Couvion that is running in the 9th District. We also had Greg Poole that's running in the 9th District, which has opened up some seats here locally. And we are always here, always local, so we like to talk about those races. And yesterday, I got a call from a friend of mine and said, hey, there's somebody new getting in the race. Could they come and talk to you tomorrow? So I said, sure. So Shannon Davidson is going to be running for county commission, and he's here with us right now. And welcome, Shannon. How are you?
Thank you so much. I appreciate you allowing me to be here.
Thank you. So tell us, first of all, what are you doing?
I guess I'm losing my mind. No, just joking. I'm super excited. Very fortunate enough this beginning of this year, a good buddy of mine, David Gibbs, and we know he's the chairman for the county commission, asked me to be on the seat for planning board. And after that, I got in and started seeing where Hall County was going, and super excited to see the growth. But then again, I was also making sure that we're have a good quality growth. So after, then Greg Poole decided to get in for the race, and it looked like a good timing for me to jump in and go for District 3.
So tell people, because some folks may not know what the planning board is. Let's start kind of with that basic thing. What is the planning board?
Okay, so basically when an applicant comes in to the planning board for, let's say, it could be a new subdivision, it could be a sign on a building, it has to go through the proper channels. And then we meet and every other Monday, and the public can come out to vote for and or opposition. And at that point, we have a chance to discuss it on the panel and vote. And then it goes through to the final commissioners for the final say.
And now you're going to announce this run for 3rd District
seat,
ma'am. Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And so tell folks a little bit about you and why you want to pursue this seat.
Well, I was born and raised in Hall County. My family's been there my entire life. I think we go back about 6 generations. I was born on the east side. I went to East Hall High School. I got married after that to my wife, Kathy. I have 2 wonderful kids that are starting their adult lives. During that time, we moved to North Hall, lived there for almost 20 years.
God's country.
Yeah,
right.
There's a thing. So after the graduations with the kids, we decided to move back to family land, which is back on the east side. So I've been very fortunate enough to live all over District 3, and I've been lucky to see the values that have shaped me over the years. So it's important to me, and the timing seems to be right to give back to the community. I'm a self-made business owner. Dental South. I've been doing that for about 25 years. And the good thing about that, Martha, is it's going to allow me to have time for the people in the community and to devote to District 3. My business runs itself. I'm not doing this for recognition or title. It's not something I need to do. I felt led to do it. So I feel like this is the opportunity for me to step out there and help the community.
Well, and this district you're talking about, I've always thought, I live in this district, and so I've always thought that it's the area that obviously North Hall has had a lot of growth, but East Hall's growth has been a little bit slower. I know when we moved back here, my husband grew up here. We moved back here in 1991, and they were saying, oh, East Hall's about to take off. And I think it's actually happening now.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Yeah, and like I said before, go back to that. I am pro-growth, but we need good growth.
Yeah.
It's a thing now. I feel like that Hall County is in a spot where we've gotten big enough to where we can be a little bit picky and choosy of what we're doing. And on the East Hall side, you go up 365, and there's a lot of industry that's coming up. But I think we're kind of putting the cart before the horse. Our infrastructure needs some assistance. It needs help. We're building faster than I think we can handle it. I'm hearing that from the public. A lot of people have reached out, and they're showing their concerns, and that's one of the bigger ones.
Well, one of the things I do is I'm on Fox 5 Atlantis, the Georgia Gang also, and this week we were talking about how for the first time in 40 years, the population of Atlanta is actually going down a little bit for the first time. But what they didn't bring up, and what I brought up, and the reason why I'm on this panel is because I represent outside of Metro Atlanta, okay, is that what I think they missed was it's not so much that Atlanta's got fewer people in it, it's they're moving to places like Gainesville, like Flowery Branch, like Dawson County, Dahlonega, these cities. And so they're still considering themselves Atlantans, or at least Metro Atlanta, but they're living in our communities now. And that's created a different kind of dynamic, hasn't it?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it definitely has. I mean, we're seeing the influx of people coming in for jobs and or to live, and I think a lot of people are seeing that in traffic. You know, it's a big issue.
That's the number one thing I hear about.
I hear it constantly. Yeah, it's a big thing. I think maybe we should dive into that and see if we can't make some changes on it.
So traffic is one area. How much control? Because the other thing I hear about the most from people is housing and affordability of housing, okay, and the ability of the first-time home buyer. Now, I don't know how much control the county commission has about that, but what are your thoughts on that issue?
Well, you know, I think you're 100% correct on that. Also, we're seeing these young kids that are not going to have the quality of life that I had or the opportunities. I mean, I don't know about you, but I've not seen many $450,000 starter homes. And I just don't see how that's necessarily going to work. We've got to get higher paying jobs for younger kids. We've got to be able to hopefully bring in some maybe tech industries. You know, we have everything we need here. We have power, we have water, we have natural gas, we have the ability for better infrastructure. I would like to be able to hopefully, if I'm allowed to take this seat, work with all the commissioners and work with the state and see about bringing in, you know, better jobs for younger people so they can afford these new homes.
So as I look back at the Hall County Commission, and in full disclosure, my husband and I run a company called Correctional Nursing Services, and my husband is the doctor that provides medical services to the Hall County Detention Center. Whenever I'm talking to a county commission candidate, I always want to disclose that because just because I want it to be out there. But I think one of the things that's the biggest challenge is we've seen a real change in the Hall County Commission makeup. There were, in the past, right, wrong, or indifferent, it was a lot of people that had been around for a long time, and it was almost like generational and all of this. But I see people like you, David Gibbs, Greg Poole, people that are coming into this that are a little different background. Did that factor into some of your decision making here?
Oh, yes, ma'am, it absolutely did. I mean, I think those guys coming in and, you know, I don't want to say like turning things upside down, but obviously really giving the community a little bit more transparency. And that's another thing that I feel like that we need to do. I think people don't really understand where their tax dollars are being spent. We need to be more transparent there. I want to be able to give myself the time to the people so we can talk about those things and see where it goes. But these guys are just really out there doing a great job. Super excited to be a part of what they're doing and want to just keep pushing forward.
So what do you see next? How is this going to play out for you from a campaign standpoint? What do you see as your work for the campaign?
Grassroots.
Yeah.
I'm going to get out. I have to do it. I have to. You know, I love to talk to people. You know, I want to get out and see everybody. I want to make myself completely available. And with our website, davidsonforga.com, there'll be a phone number there. And that phone number needs to be used. I'm going to make myself available through this entire campaign. If people have questions, and if I don't know the answer, I'll find the answer. So that's pretty much what I want to try to do for the community.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited because I live in North Hall, okay, and I think we've done a pretty good job at managing growth in North Hall and in going over into East Hall. I know there's some people that disagree with me. My husband and I disagree on this. He don't want to see another person come in. He's one of those close the gate, don't let anybody else come in. And I'm like, okay, but it's good for us to have, you know, a Taco Mac down the road where you can go watch, you know, sporting events, or it's good for us to have the square develop the way it is. So I'm a little more, hey, as long as it's it's managed well, I'm okay with more people coming. Do you have that? Do you see that as you go around?
No, I do. I do want to kind of preserve some of the values and some of the farms and you know, agriculture. We have to keep some of that, but we have to realize that growth is inevitable. It's going to happen.
It's the balance between personal property rights,
yes, ma'am,
and then government. You know what I mean? Because there is a role for government. You expect for when you get to the end of your driveway, there's a good road there.
Yes.
You expect, you know, for there to be water service or the ability to have well water. You expect there to be power and things like that. There is a role for government, but there also is, I mean, the biggest fights we've had in the last few years, what have they been about? People that have come along, they've had a big chunk of property, they've wanted to sell it and do something with it, and then people around them don't want them to do that. That's where you get the, neighbors kind of arguing with their other neighbors.
Correct. Yeah, I see that on the planning board a lot, when people come out in opposition for things, and they express their opinion on what they would like for the area. And, that's what I try to do. I try to really listen to the people and try to understand where they're coming from and not make rash decisions right out of the gate, study on the issues of what they're looking at. Because I'll be honest, there's been times sitting on the board where I thought I had an idea of what I wanted to vote for until I heard opposition from the public, and it made a little bit more sense. So I think that's a big deal.
How big an issue, and I'll close with this and let you wrap up, how big an issue is short-term rentals in Hall County?
That's a good question. I think it's a big issue. It's something that we're going to have to continue to watch and see and push forward and to see where that's going to go. The answer, I'm not 100% sure of how that's going to play out.
Because, again, it's that personal property rights.
Exactly.
What do people want to do with their own property? But
correct.
I am involved with Rotary Club, and White County Rotary is in my group of clubs that I visit, and they have a big issue up there with stuff that's even whole neighborhoods are being built, and the whole purpose of them are short-term rentals, and there's not enough starter housing for the people that live there, and I don't want that to happen here.
No, it's definitely a thing that people are trying to do. And it's new for us. It's new, so we have to get a hold of that early so we can maybe make the proper decisions for later. 15, 20 years from now, what is that going to look like for us?
Shannon Davidson, if people want to get in touch with you and know more about your campaign, how can they do that?
That would be at davidsonforga.com. There's obviously social media is out there also with the same headline. And there is a phone number, like I said before. Please use it. Feel free.
Absolutely. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Good luck.